This conference will now be recorded.
Fine. So, yesterday we were trying to discuss about the overview of SQL, right? So, we just discussed about the five sub-languages that we have in the SQL and also like how they are related to each other and all. So, while before digging deep into the DDL, yeah, so we thought of discussing about DDL, right? So, before digging deep into it, like creating, modifying, altering, or doing something with the DDL, we just need to understand the data types and the constraints also. So, like in a high level, I'll just give what is data types and what is constraint. So, and but we will try to understand each and everything practically. So data types are nothing but uh, like the moment you listen the meaning, I mean word data type, what comes to your mind in general? Fine. So it's a type of a column, like what kind of data we are storing in that particular column. Okay, data type indicates. See, as a human beings, we know that, let's say we have a table here. So if I give name here, we know that in the name column we should include only names of a person. If it is ID column, we know that we should include roll numbers or IDs of a person. If you give email IDs, then we will include here email IDs. But how can a server know that? See, how can a database engine knows that? It's impossible, right? See, everything you need to tell to the server. Hey server, this is the thing, you should do this one. This is the thing, this you have to implement. This is the thing you need to tell each and everything to the database engine. Similarly, while creating a table or else while having a variables, while having a parameters, see, parameters, variables are the words. Maybe I'm telling it for the first time. Maybe you know it, but I'm telling it for the first time. So don't get panic. So first we will try to understand data types in terms of creating a table. Okay. So I just created a table without a data type. So server failed to identify which kind of data that we are going to store. Of course, Excel doesn't need any data type, but see, if you give varchar of this one, it's okay. It will not give any error or it will not do anything. But in the database engine, if you create a table without a data type, I'm sure you'll get an error, because without a data type, engine doesn't recognize what kind of data you are going to enter. Because of that, initially only it will give error. So, hey user, you forgot to mention the data type. Please follow the syntax. Okay, so what was the like one of the EF code rule? We must follow the syntax. That's the one, that is the one of the rule of EF codes. Now, okay, data types is fine. So that somehow in order to indicate the data, like I mean type of data to the column, we use data types. But what about constraints? What about constraints? So in English, constraints means conditions, right? So similarly here also, see, if you are dealing with the data, you can implement condition like with some other classes, I mean clauses. But you are dealing with the structure of the data, right? I mean structure of the table, right? Database objects, right? So to have a condition on top of the objects, we use constraints. So these constraints are table level, which means while creating a table, you can have a condition. Before inserting the data, you can have a condition. See, if let's say where clause is something like, in order to have a condition we use where clause. That is, that will talk about the data inside the table. But constraints is not like that. It will be conscious whether what kind of data is coming into the table, whether I need to take that data into the table or not. So what kind of constraints I have on top of the table, so that server will take care of it. Maybe, like if I say orally, obviously we'll get a confusion, but we will try to implement each and everything. So before that, let us try to understand these data types. So it's very simple. Yeah, we might have many data types, but out of all those data types we are using only these data types. Okay, mostly, I mean, frequently used data types are this one. Now, I have char, varchar, and varchar, int float money, and date time. So I just see, while reading, I just separated in a three different manner. I mean, char, varchar, and nvarchar are one bucket, and int float money in another bucket, date and date time in another bucket. Now, uh, char, varchar, and varchar. So what kind of data these type of data types will store? That was the first question. See, anything, anything, I mean, any character, if you want to store into the column, then we will use char, varchar, and nvarchar. Bhavya, if you want to store any character type of data, why you are having three? One is enough, no? Correct. This might be a question, right? See, character data means what are all comes under character type of data? So what kind of data comes under character type data? Okay, I'll give examples. You just tell me whether it is correct or not. Okay. Um. Yeah, something like that. SQL. Is this a character data? Yes, it's a character data because alphabets, any alphabets, if you find in any data, then it is a character data. Characters. So characters are nothing but an alphabets. So SQL is a character type of data. Hence, if you want to store this SQL into any column, then you should use char, varchar, or nvarchar, any of the data type. I'll show you I mean, I will tell you the difference. Now, another question is SQL 08. So let's say this one. Is this a character type of data? We have 08, no? Is this a character type of data?
No.
You guys hear me? Yes, fine. Yes, no, right? Yeah. Why? Because SQL are the alphabets. Now, I have one more thing. This one, $13. Is this a character data?
No.
Yes, it's a character data. See, even though dollar is a special symbol, it is a character. See, one shortcut I will tell you to remember character type of data is, see, whatever you see on your keypad, laptop keypad, all those are nothing but a characters. See, if you see the keyboard individually only numbers, then it's a number type. Okay, but at the rate, hashtag, dollar, percentage, some star, plus, minus, each and everything, along with alphabets and numbers, those are all comes under character type data. Okay, if I give minus 123, I mean, 1 123, then this is also a character type of data. Why? Because I am using a special symbol. See, for my understanding, I know it's a minus, but for database engine, it's a character. Okay, but if I take like this 456, then this is not a character, it's an integer. It's an integer.
Bhavya,
Okay, I yes, yes.
in that case, SQL 08 is also a character, right? Because we have the combination of all the words and the numerics.
Yes, SQL 08 is a character only, no?
Okay, no, initially we said no, then you said.
Okay. No, no, it's a character. Okay. This is also a character. This is also a character. Only if you find numbers. In that case, only those are integers. Say if you take something like this, some 4.56, 3.23, something like that, then it is also an integer, but different kind. Float or some decimal or number, something like that. Okay. So, fine. The next question is, Bhavya, can I store integer type of data into varchar column? I mean, character type of column? You can store it. So, this now I'm giving you one statement. You guys catch that. Okay. I can store integer type of data into the character type column, whereas I cannot store character type of data into the integer column. That, remember this one, I will show you that practically. Now let us try to understand the difference between character varchar and varchar. Later we will implement so that we will understand all these things. Okay. Yeah, my question is, we have char varchar and varchar, and I'm telling you both are the data, I mean, three of these data types are used for storing the characters. Now, what is the main difference we find? See, let us assume I have a column with the name which is of um, char of 5. Okay, let us assume 5. CHER, spelling mistake. Okay, char of 5. Now, in the backend, see, you will not see anything from the database. You will not see how it is storing in the backend and all. Why we can't see how it is storing in the backend? Whatever you give to the laptop or any engine or anything, what it will do, it will store it in a binary format, right? Since from many years we started learning this, so whatever you give, it will store our things in a binary format. So because of that, we will not see how it is storing and all, but we know the concept. If I give var name of char of 5, then it will allocate 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 spaces in the backend it is allocating. Now I want to store the name SQL. Okay, into the name column I want to store SQL. SQL. So what about this remaining space? What happened to this remaining space? Remaining space will be wasted. In
Null?
terms of char, yeah, um, like wasted, it's not of null also, it's simply wasted. See, char will not have a functionality of utilizing the extra space. Char will leave the extra space like that. So this space will be wasted. Now if I want to store um, SQL1 in the next column, I mean, for me, it is in the next column. But for database engine, in the next utilization of space, the remaining space it will be using. but for us it will display in the next line only. Now again we have a different, I mean different in space, again 5. What I want to store, high, I will store high. H is here and I is in here. So all the remaining 3 space is wasted, and here 2 space, total 5 space got wasted. Now, now tell me, right now I have only little amount of data. Okay, little amount of data. Let's say my name is Bhavya, right? So somebody's name was of 50 characters. Mine is only 6 characters or 5 characters, but somebody's name was of 50 characters. Now I should take a care of 50 here, correct? So I'll store Bhavya, which is of 5 now. But to store 50 characters, this like another 50 characters name will be utilized by next row. But after storing Bhavya in the first row, the remaining space, let's say 45 bits of space, all those space got wasted. So what happens if you waste the space? See, if your drive is full, what happens? You will not store some extra data, right? Similarly here also. And of course our database is an on premise. If the data is full, I mean if the storage is full, the coming data you will not store. So this is the drawback of car. Car will not have a functionality of utilizing unused space. So that is why we are moving it to varchar. So what varchar will do, the same example, name of name of varchar I'm just using, varchar of 5 I'm just using, and the similar kind. Okay, the similar kind I'm just taking. Okay, here instead of writing h and I here, they will write it here only, h I, and the next name will be here. Some, this one is something, and here is something, and here is something. You know what it is doing here? Varchar, what varchar is doing here? The unused space will be utilized by the next value. See, hi, high is an next value, right? So this unused space was utilized by this high, whereas in the in the char it doesn't used it. So here you may find storage issue. Because of that, we are moving into varchar. Okay, Bhavya, if I display that one, I mean, if I display the name column, will I get SQL HI, side by side? No, no. Again, I'm telling you, you are using high level language, which means a normal English. In the backend, it is converting into binary language, which is a byte language. And if it is returning something from the binary language, you are getting it into the again a high level language. So there you are seeing some exchange, I mean some conversion was happening. So because of that, you are unable to see side by side. You will see this high in the next row, just like in Excel. So how you'll see this SQL, and the next one is high. So like this you will see. But backend it will store like this. See, I'm just telling you to give the differentiate. So no need to worry about this one. Now, char varchar is fine. But what about nvarchar? Nvarchar is also used to store the character type. But what if you want to store some special characters? Bhavya, you told that whatever you see in the keyboard, you can store it in the varchar also, right? Yes, we can store. But if you want to store Chinese characters, if you want to store some Japanese characters, okay, forget about Chinese and Japanese. If you want to store Hindi letters, I mean, what we'll say, uh, things, not things also. Let's say words and everything, or else Telugu words and everything. If you want to store something, see, we will not store it, but in the worst case, in that case, we will use nvarchar to store special characters. We will use nvarchar, which is also Unicode characters. So Unicode characters means universal characters. Okay, so like no need to much bother about this nvarchar. But for now, I recommend you to use only varchar. Okay, see what might be the column you are using. You can use varchar. See, um, let us assume ID. Okay, in some companies, ID will be like an integer, but in some other companies, ID is a combination of character also. Some 123A, 456B, something like this. So in that case, we will, I mean, we must go for varchar in order to save the storage. Fine. See, if you are talking in terms of on premise, somehow we are you know we can't store the data, that's fine. But in case of cloud, you need to pay the extra amount. See, uh, let's take an example of Google only. If you stored your data in the Google and the storage got full, what it will show a message, some 13 rupees or $13 per month. I'm not sure, I'm just um, just drawing a throne, I mean stone. See, maybe something like that, this is the amount per month if you want some extra space, like that they will give a message, right? Similarly here also. Okay, now this is about the character. If you want to store character type of data, what if we want to store integer type of data? So if you want to store integers, then use int. See, integers are nothing but normal numbers. Okay, and if you want to store float means decimal values. Mostly maybe in Oracle and in Snowflake, those are also like there also we'll use data types, right? Like if you are familiar, we have number data type there. So instead of that, you can use float also. Okay, and if you want to store any money, like salary column or else a fee payment column, any related to money, then you can use money data type. So Bhavya, I will not use money data type. I will use int for that column also. Okay, no worries, go and use it. No one will scold you, no error you will get from the engine side. Okay, now but date and date time. So if you want to store any date, then you must use date data type. If you want to store date along with the time format, then you should use date time data type. Okay, so we will try to understand these all data types with an examples, I mean by implementing. Okay, I thought of sharing you this one, right? I didn't share you this one, right? Like installation of SSMS. Okay, I'll share that with you right after the class. So we walked through this one, right? Like where we can store our data, where we can execute the queries and all. Yeah, yesterday it was done. Fine. So first and foremost, we will talk about the create command. Okay. So like next 4 to 5 days, we will be talking about only this DDL. See, create command. So what you can create? Any database object like tables, index, views, stored procedures, and triggers. But for now, we will try to create a table. Okay. Now, before creating a table, I just want to create a database first. So yesterday I shown you, right? Like only um, system databases are there with me. I want to create my own database. Okay. So how can we create our database? By using create command. So to create a database, we must follow the syntax. Guys, please remember, if you want to be perfect in SQL, you must remember the syntax. See, at least, see, I'm not asking you to by heart it. At least try to understand. Like if you want to create a database, don't try to write a table command. Okay, if you want to create a database, don't try to take schema syntax. Okay, so just be conscious and focus on the syntaxes. That's it. So the one which will be indicating in green color, those are all the syntaxes. Okay, because end of the course I will share this file with you, so that's why I'm maintaining each and everything. So create database, database name, semicolon. So this is the syntax we must follow. So tell me, can I use same database name for new database, like existing database name? Actually, yesterday I created one database which is DB1. Now I want to create another database with the same name. Is that possible? Remember EF called rules. Okay, forgot about rules. You just think normally and tell me.
No,
Fine. So can you tell me why it is not possible? Fine. That reason I will tell you. See, if I create a database with same name, confusion, right? See, if there is a class, in a class there are two Bhavyas. If you call Bhavya, who will get up? These two people only will get confused, right? To whom the teacher is calling. Similarly, if you create a database with same name, engine will automatically be ambiguity. For engine, it will somehow get some confusion to which database I should work on. So in order to avoid that, EF code mention initially only. You can't create a database, or else you can't create a table with the same name. I mean with the existing name. See, not only table, not only database. You can't create even views. You can't create procedures with the same name. You can't create triggers with the same, I mean, existing name. Okay, I forgot that rule. I don't know that rule. So I'm just creating with the same name, like which is already there. I'm just executing it. You should select it and execute. What is the shortcut for execute? Control E. See what was the error it is showing? Database DB1 already exists. Choose a different database name. Hey user, you are creating a database again with the same name, which is already there. So please choose another one. It was asking us to do that. So even database will not allow us to create with the same name. Okay, see, I'm sure in our sessions, I mean, in our course, you will experience more errors because I will try to explain the concept with the help of errors. Okay, so I'm just creating like this, db underscore 08. Okay, let me take like this. Now, if I execute, like I'm not selecting anything here, if I execute, what it actually does? What it actually does, I will tell you what it will do. Remember, because when we are writing a procedure, this concept again I will ask, like how it is executing and all. See, it will execute the first line, it will come to the second line, it will come to the third line, and it will come to the fourth line. So whatever you write in this worksheet, all these, I mean, all these lines will be executed line by line. So that is why I asked you to select and execute. Okay, so this time I'm not selecting anything but executing. Somehow it created. Bhavya, you told me that it will execute line by line, but somehow it executed only this line. Guys, see here, you have only this line. This is a commented out line. Okay, the one which you are seeing in green color is a commented out line. So, which means if you use hyphen, 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 then you are indicating that line is a commented out. Okay, let's say I have multiple lines need to be commented out. In that case, you will be using forward slash star, and you can write whatever you want, and star forward slash. So whatever you write between these things, I mean, so whatever you write here, maybe here also, maybe here also, so everything, all these lines, so whatever you write here, all these things will be a commented out. So to comment multiple lines, we will use this one, forward slash star, star forward slash. If you want to comment only single line, we use this one. Okay, remember this. So database was created. Now I want to create a table inside this database. Inside this database, I need to create a table. So can you help me out, like how can I create a table in this database?
Same, we use create table and give the data. Create table.
Okay, create table. I'm just taking tab underscore one, so I'll just take int. Okay, see, I'm not giving any syntax here. I want to show one thing here, that's why I'm creating. If I execute, then you think that this tab one is created on this database. Is that so?
No, no.
Okay, fine. So I want to create this tab one in this database. So what I should do?
You need to refer the database name in that before the table or something ending and starting. I don't.
Yes. So what she was telling is you can take this database name, you can use the reference. That is the one thing. And another thing is that you can change it here also. Okay, but changing it here is not a good practice, I feel. Because see, in the future maybe you're dealing with some project, so in that you will not come and change all the time databases, right? If you want to execute multiple code which was using multiple databases, you will not come and keep on changing the databases, correct? So the best practice is either you should have to use command, or you can use the reference also. So use db underscore 08. If you execute this command, so let's say I'm in a master database for now. See, the moment I change here, my engine is changing. If you see in the bottom, you will see the difference. my engine, this is an engine that was connected. So all my queries will be executed in the master database. So if I execute this use command, I will show one error now. Control E. See, DB8 already execute. Choose a different database name. See, I want to execute this use command, right? Why it was executing this one? Because line by line it will start executing, no? That's the reason. So that's why select and execute it. So the moment I run this command, what happened? Master database is shifted to DB08 database. Even here also, master database is shifted to DB08 database. Okay. So Bhavya, no, I can't use also. Then DB underscore 08 dot. See, dot is something like, I don't have permission to use it. Okay, fine. See, the moment you use dot, it is a reference. Dot is nothing but a reference. So we are telling to the server, you create a table in the DB08 database. So actually I have TB1. I'm just taking tab 2. The specified schema name either does not exist, or you don't have permission to use it. Let's refresh it. Acha, here in the SQL we will not use it or something like this. Specified schema name. Okay. I'll let you know about this one, because most of the times this dot, I mean database dot table name is not perfectly using. That's why we are using use command. So right now do this, but I'm sure you can't create a table by using a reference. If you want to use, I mean, if you want to select something, you can use database dot table name, that it will work, but while creating it will not work. So I will tell you why it is not working. Okay, so the dynamically you can do is use command. So before running this one, you should use this use command, so that first it will run use command and then it will create a table. Hence automatically tab 2 will be created in this database only, no? So that's the functionality of use and create table. So fine. So we understood of creating a database, and we understood that we like how we can create a table in that particular database. Now, now see here, syntax for creating a table is create table, table name, and you should give here columns, column and data type. And observe carefully here, this is a constraint. See, constraint is an optional one. See, if you want to mention something which is optional, you should mention that in a these symbols, less than and greater than symbols. Okay, between that you should mention the optional one. So like that, how many columns you can create in a table? This is also a question generally. So how many columns can we create? I mean, can we have for a table? You can have n number of columns. If you want to create 50 columns, create. If you want to have a table with 60 columns, go and create. No error, nothing. Okay, so this is how we will create a table. Now my question is, to create a table, and see, observe worksheet carefully and answer this question. To create a table, data types are mandatory or constraints are mandatory? Which one is mandatory? Which means which is important?
Data type is mandatory.
Yes. So data types are mandatory. Why not constraints?
Con-
Why
Constraint constraints sometimes we can use or sometimes we can't. So
Yeah.
data type is
So yes, tell me. Yep. See, constraints are nothing but a conditions, right? So, do we keep conditions every time on top of the table? See, let's say I have two tables. It's my wish to this table, like not my wish. See, some users, end users, or business requirement. Okay, based on that requirements, we will use the constraints. If it is purely necessary, we will use constraint. If it is not necessary, then we will not use any constraint. So that's why constraints are optional one, but data types are mandatory, compulsory. You should use data type. So see here, I created a tab to table without a constraint. It got created. Control E. So it got created. See, I will expand this. I mean database 8 in the tables. Here I see the tab 2. Now I have created a table with data type but not constraint. Now I will try to create a table without a data type. Create table tab underscore 3 with ID. See, the definition of column ID must include a data type. See, it is giving error, which means, hey, you're using the column but you forgot to mention a data type, so please mention the data type and create a table. So this is what this error mean. So from this we knew that okay, data types are mandatory, constraints are not necessary. So yeah, we are creating a table like this. Now I just want to insert the data. So forget about this drop, alter, and truncate. Okay, we will try to understand DML and DDL equally. Okay, now you answered this question, right? So, or data manipulation language. So I have created a table now. I want to insert the data into it. So insert means I need to keep the data into the table. For that we have data manipulation language. So data manipulation language is nothing but if you want to have any transactions. What is meant by transactions, Bhavya? Why you jumped to that transaction? Why you went to bank now? No, I didn't went to bank now. Okay, so transactions in SQL language, transactions means insertion, updation, and deletion. Okay, if you are inserting something, if you are deleting something, if you are updating something, those three comes under transactions. Okay, that's why see, as in a class we talk about transaction control language, right? So what transaction control language will do? It will control the DML. Why it will control the DML? Because insertion, updation, and deletions are the transactions. That is why those language TCL will control these transactions. Hence it is called as transaction control language. Okay, so insert, update, delete. These are the only three commands that we are going to learn in the data manipulation language. Okay, insert is to insert the records into table, update is to update the records, delete is to delete the record. See, records means, what is meant by records? Rows. See, records are nothing but rows. Okay, see, fifth row, sixth row, seventh row, eighth row, something like that. A column, B column, C column. See, try to remember columns and rows. Sometimes we will get confusion. Okay, but just remember it. Okay, fine. So I will try to insert the record into the table now. Okay, so what is the syntax to insert the records? To insert the data. This is the syntax. Insert into table name you should mention. Table underscore name, values you should mention. Okay, values, and you can give a number of values here. Sorry. Why I have said n number of values? Because you have created a table with n number of columns, that is why you should provide n number of columns. If a table contains 10 columns, how many values you should provide? 10 values. Okay, so I want to insert the data into the table 2. Okay, tab 2. So how I should take it? Insert. Sorry, let me close this. Okay. Insert into table. What is my table name? Tab underscore 2, right? So by the way, I created a table with lowercase. I'm using it here uppercase. What do you say? Does it works, or does it give errors?
It works.
Yes, because it's a case insensitive. You can see, even if your data contains uppercase and lowercase, you can use any of one case, because SQL Server is a case insensitive language. So case insensitive means, case means uppercase and lowercase, which means capitals and small. Okay, and you can use whatever. If you create a table with small, and if you're using it capitals, then it will give output, it will not show any error. So that is the thing. So don't try it in different databases. Different databases you will have differently. Okay, Snowflake is a case. See, while if you are retrieving any data in the Snowflake, you should follow the case one, like whether it is capitals or it is small, something like that. Yeah. Insert into tab 2 values. Here you can give id, right? I'll just take one, enough. One record I'm inserting. It's a simple one. So one record is inserted. So how can you see that one record got inserted? So by using select command, you can see this. See, select command is a dql command. Select command is what? Dql command. So this we will discuss once we enter into dql, but for now just try to understand this one. Okay, tab underscore 2, that's it. See, I will tell you what is meant by select clause, what is star, what is from, what is semicolon and all. Okay, see, only one you have here. Now okay, you understood insert, you understood create, you understood select. Only just high view you understood. Now I want to create a table with 3 columns. Okay, before that I want to drop the tables. Okay, before creating a table 4, I want to drop table 2 and tab 2 and tab 3 tables. So how, what is the command I have to drop a table? See, what is the command? Drop. This command is used to delete objects from the database. So permanently it will delete the object. See, it will not store for even 5 hours or 2 hours, even for 24 hours. It will, the moment you drop the table, automatically it will be dropped. Okay, drop syntax is drop table, table name. Now I'm just dropping it. Drop table. See, you are getting right, or any confusion? See, table got dropped. Now refresh this database and see whether you have that table or not. Refresh. Right click on the database and click on refresh. Okay, see, you didn't find the table now. Now I will create one more table with 3 columns. Okay, with 3 columns. Of course, it will show error. Fine. Yes. So create table tab underscore 2 of I'm just using name which is of varchar. I'm just taking 10 id which is of int and salary which is of int only I'm taking. Later we will see money. Okay, so this tab 2 got created now. Okay, now see here, I will try to insert the records here. See, I told you already, I will try to explain the concept with the errors. Okay, so remember, insert into tab underscore 2 values. Here inside the values, I'm mentioning name. See, always remember characters or strings. See, strings are nothing but the characters. Okay, if you are using strings, always mention that strings in a single quotes or mention that characters in a single quotes. Okay, name was SQL and ID is 1 and sal. Okay, I'll take the person name here, John, and sal is something like 2000. Okay, so this is the first record I'm just inserting. So do you think it will insert? Of course, yes, it got inserted. Now I will try to insert one more record. Insert into tab underscore 2 values. Here I'm just taking what 2 salary 2000. Now tell me, this will insert the record into the table. See, I mentioned that if you want to insert strings into the uh, varchar data type column, or else if you want to insert any strings, you should mention it in a single quote. I am mentioning integers also in a single quote. Do you think it will entered? Why, Bhavya? 2 and 2000 are strings. See, there is a point here. If you want to mention any data, you can use single quote. For any kind of data, you can use single quote, but it is not mandatory. It is mandatory for only string kind of data. If you are using any characters, then only it is mandatory to use single quotes. If you are using integers, then no need to mention any single quote. And it's okay if you mention that in a single quote also. If you mention that in a single quote, it will not give any error. Okay, because by default it will accept a single quote, but it's not mandatory. That's the thing. Now, okay, fine. Um, I told you, right? Like, I can't insert strings into integer type of column, whereas I can insert integers into varchar column. So let us try to prove that. Why you should believe me? Correct? Tab underscore 2 values. Here I'm just inserting in the place of name, I'm inserting 1. Okay, I know nobody's name starts with 1. Okay, otherwise I'll take name only, Alan. But this time I will not mention it in a single quote. I will give a 4 and I'll give some 6 660. Okay, so this one I'm following correctly, this one I'm following correctly, but this one I'm not mentioning it in a single quote. Okay, now execute this one. See error. Invalid column name Alan. Hey server, I'm not giving you any column name. Why you are taking it as a column name? Correct, right? See, did I mention anywhere this a column name? I didn't mention Alan as a column name anywhere, but it was taking invalid column name. So what do you understand by it? Column, see, if you did not mention anything in a column name, I mean anything in a single quotes, automatically server starts considering column names. Automatically it will start considering the value as a column name. So that is why I asked you to mention it in a single quote. Getting? Fine. So this is one thing you should remember, because this error you will see many times. This error. So remember this error. Now, I want to insert one more record, but this time I will not touch any single quote or anything. I will try to insert here 5, but like this I will insert. Okay, 5 is a character, so I need to insert it in a single quote. So select and control E. This is the thing I want to show you. See, what was the error? Conversion failed when converting the varchar 5 to the data type int. So you can't insert, character type data into int, whereas you can insert integers into varchar. So the task for you is try to insert the numerical value into varchar data type. Insert the numerical value into varchar data type. Okay, forgive me if there are any mistakes. Okay, yeah, so just insert this. It's a 1 minute of time. Okay, just do that. And yeah, so tomorrow we will try to insert the data if we have constraint with the table, like what happens to the data if we have constraint on top of the table, that we are going to see it practically. Okay, fine. So that's all for today, guys. And I will share the installation steps in the group. You guys please follow that and install. Like if you stuck somewhere, please ping me what in the WhatsApp. Maybe in the group or maybe personally also fine. No worries in that. But try to install it. Or else if you are having any database with you and still fine, you can use that. Okay, but there might be a little differences, that's it, not big, a little. So yeah, try to do that installation, because from now on you will be start using queries, right? So that's why. So any doubts, please go ahead. No doubts?